Shalom. Real Hebrew Israelites come week in and week out. Prophets have the downfall of American society. We're going to start off giving all praise and glory and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash.
double honors to our apostles, the elders, the G and blessing brothers that sincerely doing this work. And the few sisters that are listening and learning and being obedient to their husbands. There's the brothers here in the Virtual John, here in Chicago. And hey, we about to basically, man, the Lord gonna be letting go of the four winds, man. Because hey, all of this stuff that's happening in the world is leading up to World War III. That's gonna be the end game. What's gonna be the end? The nuclear missile fight. You know, how about Shema Shah about to destroy this place? You know, so much start off with Revelation 18.
That's correct. This is the book of Revelations, 18 and 1. And it reads, Revelation 18 and 1 says, after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. It says, he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Because everything is so full of wickedness, you know. It's time out for this stuff, man. How about Shah? It had enough with this wickedness going on, this bread and circus. You know, people are partying more, they're getting more into folly. There's more wickedness pushing out. You got these new trendsetters, Scentsy Red and Sukiana and all these wicked people out here. Got them going crazy. Their minds is all gone. And that's a foul spirit, man. It's every foul spirit and unclean and every hateful bird. That's what that's doing. It's so unpure here that it gotta go.
It says, verse 3, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxing rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right?
Oh,
Yeah, all the nations basically have what? Drunk of America's philosophies. You know, following after America's ways, you know, things of that nature. You know? It says, with her and the merchants of the earth are waxing rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right? A lot of these nations come in to get rich, you know. Especially a lot of these nations come in and Jake neighborhood to set up shop, you know, to be made rich, and they go back to their own countries, you know. And it says, verse 4 says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. It says that you receive not of her plagues.
So let's talk about the charity being up the elect. To come up out of this wickedness. Because there's so much wickedness here, man. Hey man, only the elect gonna get delivered out of it, and they gonna seriously be saved. Somebody hold that. But everybody here that's left here in America is gonna be destroyed. Ain't nobody gonna survive over here. You know, because Great Babylon have to get done away with. So yeah, he's letting go of that, man. That's why you're seeing Jacob's trouble on the rise.
Yeah, Jacob's trouble is not gonna be just Jacob's trouble. Because the heathen gonna feel it too.
Oh yeah. Everybody about to feel it over here. What it just said? It said every nation drunk of the wine and the wrath of the fornication. So every nation is going to pay right along with this place. You know, for all the wickedness that they helped create on this planet with the Edomites.
Yeah, it says that the Lord is gonna bring many strange calamities because they have walked in great pride.
Yes. This is Joel chapter 3. I'm going to start at 1. For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all the nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And that was just what going into what the brother was saying, that all these nations going to have to sit up here. All these nations about to get dealt with for what they did to the children of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Shai, for what they did to the Israelites.
You know, Yahweh Shabbat, man. Yahweh's judgment. So everybody about to, like you said, everybody about to get rounded up and get destroyed. That's Isaiah the 34th chapter. So somebody told it. But yeah, they all about to get destroyed right along with this. about a nuclear fight that's gonna come at the end. Hey man, what gotta come? That MOTV that's coming. So you're seeing these things happening leading up to the MOTV. And how about Shema Shah been telling us these things for over the years? You know? And I've been knowing about the MOTV since I was 14. You know, so it is just showing you how much is going to push the fruition that make everything about to go digital. All right, keep going to Revelation.
This is the book of Revelation 18:5. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and yet I will have remembered her iniquities."
Exactly, the sins have reached it up to heaven. These damn devils, man. But they just push everything. It's okay for a boy to turn into a girl. It's okay for a girl to turn into a boy.
Which is impossible.
Exactly, man. You know, exactly. You can't change your insides and your DNA or bone structure. Like that one guy, he be cutting these valve infections on that. But they pushing it's okay. You know, giving them a license to sin. It's okay to do this. It's okay to smoke weed. It's okay to be, party all day. It's okay to wild out. You know, just to enhance more wickedness. It's okay to eat pork. You know, everything here that they say it's okay to do is totally against the scripture.
Verse 6, it says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she has filled to her double."
Exactly, man. So that cup they filling up now it's gonna be filled to them double, man. For what they did to us, and we have served our punishment of slavery. We went through all of this, man. We live in hell, we're struggling right now. You know, we're going through all types of bullshit. But guess what? We got the truth. That's the only thing that's upholding us is the truth. Other than that, we'll be bugged out like the rest of these people out here. They don't have no hope. They don't have hope in anything. They believe in wickedness. They believe in Esau. What Esau's going to do to them. They're going to be going down to him for help. You know, trying to figure out. That's what's going to end up. They're going to take the MOTV because they're going to be desperate. They're going to need no money, no nothing. You know, so they're going to completely put their faith in that, while we put in our faith in Yahweh Shai to get the salvation out of this here.
It says, verse 7, it says, "How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow."
Yeah, exactly, man. This devil think they ain't gonna get run down, but they being taken care of. You know, they being the woman they is, because they, man, this is a kingdom, really. We say kingdom. You know, this ain't no kingdom. Kingdom is godly, man, of the Lord, man. Something righteous. This is all full of wickedness. You know?
It says, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judges her." It says, verse 9, it says, "The kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning."
Yeah, but they gonna be like, damn, man, America is destroyed. But they all that money they inherit on it, they gonna lose that. Them heathens. So them heathens is definitely gonna get punished right along with these devils. You know?
It says, verse 10, it says, "Standing afar off for the field for the torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come."
In 1 hour, this place is going to be destroyed, man, by thermonuclear fire. So the Lord is about to let them go, man. It's being let go, man. And judgment is everywhere. You're seeing earthquakes, tsunamis, all of this stuff, man, destroying this place. How about Shema Shai unleashing on this place? He ain't playing. You got something
We got Revelations 11 and 14. The second woe is to pass, and behold, the third woe comes quickly. So the woe is destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, World War II.
Yeah.
The second war is past, the third war coming quickly. You had World War I, you had World War II. And the scriptures describe World War I. It goes into the locusts, it's talking about the fighter planes that they used in World War I. Alright? So those were great woes, great destructions. But now we're coming into the woe to end all woes. destruction and end all destruction. That's what World War III.
Yeah.
It says this one's gonna be fought with burning and fuel. Cause if I get that real quick, it says every battle of the warrior confused with blood.
Isaiah 9:5. This is the book of Isaiah 9:5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Right, so it's gonna be a war unlike any war we've ever seen. Other wars were conventional. You know, you had what's called conventional weapons. This is gonna be a nuclear. This war is gonna go nuclear. Hence the lake of fire.
And a lot of people are like to be destroyed. And this is going to be that healthy part, big sacrifice. Because these people are going to be a sacrifice now. Because they didn't want to listen. You know? So now they're going to die with their blood.
This is
Revelation.
this is Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1. Come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein. The world and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fear upon all their armies.
Yeah, man. His spirit is upon all their armies about to destroy this place, man. Look, every last one of these nations, man, think they was going to get away with it. And 2/3 of our people, they think nothing won't happen. Oh, that's going to happen over probably 100 years from now, 200 years from now. That's going to happen to my children's life. So why would you want, first of all, in your mind, you be like, why would I want my children to go through that? Like, if any righteous person, but you see how wicked 2/3 of our people is, they're going to be a part of that thing.
This is Isaiah 34 and 2 again. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as the fallen fig from the fig tree. And that's going to be those nuclear weapons, man. And this place is about to be utterly destroyed. Nuclear fire.
Yep.
Point blank, period.
And mushroom cloud represent the what it says on
Rose together as a scroll.
That represents the mushroom cloud. When you see the big smoke go up, and you got the fig, like how the fig lean down, the missiles, they're going to come straight down on this place, and blow this place up. So you got the Lord is have it described as certain things so you have a better understanding. Because, back then they didn't know that was called missiles. Isaiah didn't know that was going to be called ICBM, missile fire. He didn't know. He described it the best way he could. How the motherfucker going to come down and burn this place.
It's just like, like I want to say it's Joel, how they describe the missiles as like having a tail, a flame in the back, like a tail, like a scorpion, and a flame in the front. They're describing it the best way they can. They describe it as arrows.
I got it right here.
Oh.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra 16-13. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Because we already know that a normal arrow, a regular arrow from a slingshot can't be shot from the ends of the world. 2nd Ezra 16-13. It's talking about a missile. That's how Ezra, described it as, an arrow. You read that again in 2nd Ezra 16:13. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. It says, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Right? Because we see all these things are building up towards World War III. We're actually in the midst of World War III right now. These different countries, battling back and forth, using tactics and things of that nature. You know, it says verse 15. It says the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Right, that's also what's going to happen. And it reminds me of what's that movie Terminator 3. You know, at the end of that movie, you seen like what? You seen like missiles. You know, this you seen the atmosphere. You seen missiles being shot into the end of the world. You know.
Right, well, we're in the beginning stages of war. World War III, as the point that's being made, is not going to be a conventional war. We're in a Cold War right now. What they call a Cold War. So I look at the definition of Cold War. That being Cold War. Because we had a Cold War, America had a Cold War when, what's it called, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Basically, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That was a short thing. Cuban Missile Crisis when America was all worried, and that's when they had the kids going all under their desks and shit.
Yeah.
They were doing those drills and shit. They don't do that shit no more.
None of
I'm
it.
showing you how proud America's got. But go ahead.
I remember that. You had one. Certain debris,
Get under the desk.
fire, this and that, and this, and all of those.
This is the definition of Cold War: a state of political hostility between countries characterized by threats, propaganda, and other measurements short of open warfare.
What the scripture says, you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. That's where we're at right now. We can see it coming together. But believe me, when you're in World War III, you're going to know about it. Okay? You'll know when you're literally in World War III. You know, right now,
And the final stage, right?
yeah, right now it is.
It's like UFC, you go through certain stages before you get to the finals.
We in the prelims.
And America been in a Cold War with Russia for a very long time. A long time. You know, and this is about to get heat up, but America been in a Cold War with Russia for a very long time. You go and talk about going back to the Reagan years.
The scripture we just read, it just shows you how fast it's going to happen. This war is not going to be drawn out. It's going to go nuclear quite fast because we're dealing with different kinds of superpowers now, different kinds of war tactics. It's just, you know, it's a game of checkers right now. Chess up.
This is Isaiah 54:16. Going back to the nuclear missiles that's about to hit this place. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth instrument for his work. And I have created the waste to destroy." So the Lord had put it in these Esau minds to create these missiles for this time. You know what I mean? He said this is for an appointed time. The destruction is nigh. You know, and like you just read earlier, what will happen when it's already kindled? So the Lord has to bring everything up to a boil. You know what I mean, and get things rolling so he can do exactly what he planned to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he said,
Isaiah 54:16.
he created the wicked for the day of evil.
Right.
This is the day of evil.
Right.
That's why Esau was created.
Yeah.
Esau was created to be the wicked. You created a wicked system. You created a wicked banking system. And to fuck over people to the point where they want to kill his ass, man. And he also gave him enough rope to hang himself by creating a nuclear missile. Somebody grab Wisdom of Solomon 5 in the 23rd chapter. It's the last verse. Alright? So, hey, that's been what it says in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter says, "For this cause have I raised thee up, that I might show my power." So the Lord raised Esau up, gave him the best technology, gave him the, you know what I'm saying, the strongest military on earth. Why? So he could just show his power by destroying his ass. Go ahead.
This book of Wisdom of Solomon 5:23. It says, "Yea, mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away."
And that mighty wind is the winds that the four angels are holding back, which is the nuclear destruction. All right, go ahead.
It says, "Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty."
Right, ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. All right. So this man created this system, a debt-based system. Not only did he create a debt-based system, but through his military, he forced the entire world to get on board with it. right? Because the idea is only viable, the idea is only worth something as if everybody believes it. That's what America was all about. That's what Rome was about. That's why when you watch the movie Gladiator, there's a particular scene where the character Maximus, which was fictional, was talking to Marcus Aurelius, and Marcus Aurelius was letting him know what Rome really was. He said Rome was really just an idea. He said, I brought the sword, nothing more. Showing you that they ruled by the sword. Even though Marcus Aurelius was an Israelite, but he was in a Roman-built king, pretty much. Edomite-built king, Edomite society, basically, is what Rome was. So he's telling you in that movie, all we brought was a sword. Rome was the idea that we forced people to believe in. It's the same thing with the American dollar. That's why it's called currency. Currency just means what's current, what's flowing right now, what's being used. That's why it's called a fiat system. Fiat means let it be so. It's an idea. Let this idea be so, and people are going to believe in it. That's why they killed Gaddafi. That's why they killed Saddam, because they were trying to take themselves out of that idea. Now they can't do that because you have Russia. And as it says, Russia shall be a guard unto them. Can somebody get that real quick? Libya, Ethiopia with them? Yeah, because you're seeing that happen right now. You got Russia all in Africa right now, recruiting, giving up weapons. When Russia puts what was that, the S something missiles. Can you look up the Russian missile defense? It's an S something. The S. Just type in Russian missile S something. S-17 or something. S-15. This is the weapon system that they've been giving all these nations, which is basically them setting up a garrison in these countries.
S-400 missile system.
All right. Yeah, they had the S-400 missiles. That's what they was giving to all these other nations. And then you got the S-500 missiles. That's what they were giving to Syria. And once they set up those missiles in that particular nation, that's pretty much a garrison. But you can read that and y'all can go back and look it up.
This is the book of Ezekiel 38:1. It says, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. It says, and say, thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
And these are all these nations that are basically getting with Russia. Because that's what the BRICS nations, that's why you even have the BRICS nations. Alright? BRICS meaning Brazil, Russia,
India, China,
South America. Alright? You have a BRICS nation. Why? Because Russia being the guard of all these nations. These nations could have never did that in the past. Every other nation that ever bucked up against the American hegemony was put to death. Gaddafi put to death. Saddam put to death. They tried to take himself off the American petrodollar, right? And that's why Esau went and took their ass out. You keep reading.
It says, verse 5 says,
They tried to do the same thing in Syria, but then Russia stepped in. They tried to take down Assad. I know everybody remembers that. Then they tried to go over to Venezuela, do the same thing, put in a puppet government. They weren't able to do all that. So all the nations see this. So they know you're weak now. They know you're not the same America that you used to be. So they're ready to make a move on you. Scripture says that the weak sit up strong. Go ahead.
This book of Ezekiel 38:5, it says, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them were shields.
Persia, which is Iran, all right, and India, Ethiopia, which are the Hamites. These are all these people get behind these BRIC nations right now. Go ahead.
Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet.
And Gaddafi, he was the president of Libya, right? Gaddafi, president of Libya. Yeah, he was the president of Libya, and they killed his ass. So all these nations out here behind Russia, there's nothing America can do about it. Watch. You can't fuck with Russia. You can't fuck with China. They teamed up. Go ahead.
It says, verse 6, it says, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with him.
Yeah, a lot of these nations are actually NATO members, man. Turkey is a NATO member, man. These are the people that's on paper NATO members. What are they doing? They're joining up with Russia right now, showing you that all these nations, even the ones that are, it says your mother shall be sore confounded. That's talking about Great Britain. All right. And it says how the beast shall hate the whore. So eventually all these NATO nations are going to eventually turn their missiles on America. They're going to get behind Russia. Hey, it was a couple of years ago, you had a Russian naval fleet fire shots at a British naval fleet. What do you think that was saying? That was saying, get down and lay down. We take it over and there's nothing you can do about it, man. You're going to have to choose a side. All right, but you can keep reading.
And it reads, verse 7, it says, Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself,
That's right.
thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee.
That's why the scripture says, beat your plowshares into spears, man. So they're taking that money out of their agriculture and anywhere else. Because you look at America, the majority of America's spending is on military.
They're ready to go into it.
So the Lord's put the spirit on these other nations to put their money in the same area. But you go ahead and then.
It says, All thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Right, and that's what Russia's doing, man. When Russia gave them S-400, S-500 missiles, he was being a guard to them. Because America knew that once they had these missile systems, that you cannot fuck with them. You couldn't go into Syria, couldn't go into certain parts of South America, and now all these nations are the weak, saying that I'm strong now. Why are we strong? Because we got a superpower backing us. You know.
They're gonna rise up against the war. That's these stated the war. They're gonna all come against us, but it's destroyed off the face of the earth. You know, America gotta get destroyed, and it's prophesied it's just for our kingdom to set up. Our kingdom is what's next. Not China, not Russia. It's us. We about to be the ruler power of the earth. You know. Going to the last one, we're gonna be wrapping it up in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna got Joel and Joel 9 and 10. This is Joel 3, 9 and 10. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I'm strong. So just what the elders are going into. And the fact that the other nations like, it's their time. America had this time to rule. You're living deliciously off the other nations. Now their reign of terror is over. Other nations they say we're lining up with people who are on their thought process. Their vibration. So it's over for America.
So you got your gun to tell them to keep that alphabet shit to yourself.
Yeah, ain't nobody accepting everything America is on. Their agenda, they don't want their agenda over there. They don't want their women out of order. They don't want homosexuality over there, validation. They don't want that type of stuff. So it's a lot of people who are just against that America. Now, there's some people over there in them countries overseas that's going off. Like it is. Some of them is following support. You got some African women over there having sex with different men, and the men allow it to happen. Saying, because we going away for a while, but I want my woman to still be playing, and we're gonna take care of the children. So, you got some people still into that American folly, but everybody's not with it. Everybody's not trying to get down with that program. There's still people against that. But they want to get the whole world on the same agenda of that wickedness.
And then, I got this. Yeah, they want everybody to join the wickedness, but that's beautiful because that's who wanted to watch my shot. This is going to destroy all of them, so it don't matter. This is Psalms 110. I'm starting at 5. The Lord at the right hand shall strike through the kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many kings. Over many countries. So it doesn't matter what these heathens do, what these people do. The Lord is, like you said earlier, he's playing chess. He's monopolizing all of them. Like you said, it's going to be the end to be in all. Nothing's going to remain after this except, Yahweh Shai and the elect of Israel.
Exactly, it's gonna be us. We're gonna be the real monopoly. Because there was a lady, she said when she was a kid, they used to play Monopoly all day when they were a kid, when they come home from school.
Right.
And they said at the end, they finally made it to the end of the game. Because, they had to put it on pause and come back to what it was. It all went to the World War government. So which that game goes into the New World Order. But that ain't gonna be y'all New World Order. That's gonna be for us. Cause y'all gonna go down and suffer everything y'all did to us because you have to drink that damn cup that y'all feel. All the whole cup of slavery and the dreads is going to all the nations, especially you Edomites, because y'all the ones who kicked this shit off, man. You got everybody following this agenda and your wickedness. So now every last one of you gonna get brought low.
I got one more. It's Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, like he was just leading up to. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. So this is a controversy against Zion, the elect of Israel. So, the Lord is paying y'all back for all the rape, rob, murdering, everything that you've done treacherously to the elect of Israel, to the apple of his eye. You're going to pay for all of that, and it's going to be deadly to you. It's not going to be no, small thing. It's going to be a major, mighty thing. And you for years, the heathen are going to talk about it. You thought that bomb that y'all dropped on Japan was something. You have no idea what's going to be unleashed on you.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you, y'all.
And this is Joel chapter 2. And this is just, backing them up about, when that fire comes, and when you holding that gate, your socket's getting burned out. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord coming. For it is nigh in that hand. We sounding that trumpet every day, all day, letting our people know, the time is coming. This place is about to be through. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people and a strong, there has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them as a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape. And that's describing those missiles.
That's right.
And the land, before they take off, the land is beautiful. But when they take off, behind it, that land is destroyed. And the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains. Shall they leap like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as strong people set in battle array. So they're going to be coming, straight in line, coming, like them horses. You're going to hear them. They're going to be coming. Before the face of the people shall they be much pain. All the faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march everyone on his way. And they shall not break their ranks. So,
they ain't gonna break their ranks. So the missiles, man, they gonna hit their target. There's nothing you can do to stop the missile. Even if, let's say you shoot a missile and blow up a couple other missiles, it's still fucking 150 million more.
Well, the scripture says that they're gonna fall upon, and they're not gonna, they're gonna fall upon the other missiles, but they're not gonna be destroyed. See, what you gotta understand is the Lord's gonna take control of His property. It's like He's been doing this. You have multiple reports about chariots flying over missile silos or base or military bases, and they'll turn on their missiles and turn them off. As the brother just read earlier, I created the smith that created, blew the coals in the fire, created instrument for my work. So you gotta understand these missiles belong to the Lord.
Exactly.
This is the Lord's, it says the weapons of my indignation. So these are the Lord's property. And the reason why you've been seeing chariots over these missile silos turning them on, is they're showing you that this is my shit. I can turn this shit on whenever I want to. I can turn it off whenever I want to. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even exist unless I put it in your mind and make it. Alright? And when I do have you send them off, or whoever the fuck send them off, guess what? It's going to be under my orders, and the missiles are going to go exactly where I want them to go, and I'm going to take control of them. And even if another missile does hit another missile, guess what? The missile that I want to keep going is the one that's going to keep going. One is not going to fucking be destroyed. It's not no missile defense you can do when the Lord takes control of these things. The Lord takes control, and I'm going to quote the brothers, because the brothers have been saying this for years. When the missiles detonate, the Lord's spirit is going to be within those missiles. The Lord's spirit is going to be, because what the scripture says, Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai is a consuming fire, man.
Not even just that, the charity for the Lord is going to burn.
Yeah.
So that is, even if you, let's say you do destroy a couple of missiles, it don't matter. The Lord is going to still burn your ass with charity.
Yeah. Well, that's hypothetical as fuck. But the scripture says that's not going to happen.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, hypothetical.
And Isaiah, what you just quoted? It's Isaiah 15 and 16. But behold, Yahweh will come with fire, with chariots.
Hold on. I was going to bring that out last.
Okay, I got second Peter. What you got?
All right, you bring your Peter out. What you got?
You know, just basically.
We have to wrap it up. I got places to be. That's why I'm trying to start at 6:30. Work.
You know, this is going to the end of Esau's, downfall. Esau, this book of 2 Ezra 6 and 8. It says, he sent it to me from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heels of Esau, which is symbolic, going back to the account of Genesis, the 25th chapter. Symbolic of Jacob taking Esau down. Who's going to take Esau down? Yahushua. It says in verse 9, it says, for Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followed. Right, we're witnessing the end of Esau's kingdom right now. And everything we're seeing right now, with the approach of World War III and also what the nukes falling upon this place, we're entering to the final stages of Esau leaving Jerusalem. Which work.
Go ahead and bring out your Peter.
It's 2 Peter 3 and 10, and I'm done with that. But the day of Yahweh comes as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. And that's just the complete annihilation over here in America. Bottom line, you know what I mean? Fervent heat. You know how much heat it takes to burn down these steel beams and everything around it, where it dries up the water. Man, you know what I mean? These little lakes and stuff that's around here, it's gonna be nothing like you've ever imagined.
It says I know the elements. Yeah.
Exactly. Everything. And since you was already reading, you going to read. I was going to read.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is Isaiah 66 and 15. Behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render anger with his fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh should be many. So many people are going to be destroyed here in America by the chariots of the Lord, so-called, what y'all want to call UFOs, what y'all want to call aliens, or whatever you want to call them. They coming to destroy this bitch with fire. Right. There's nothing you can do to stop that. You Edomites, man. You're not stopping the spaceships of the Lord. Period. And his sword is coming, which is the shit y'all created to destroy your own city. So it's over with for y'all. The Lord gonna unleash the more wind, and it's gonna be done. So with that, we're gonna give all praise to the one out too.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Apostle, the elders, and GMS, brothers and sisters doing this work, and a few sisters that are listening, learning, and being obedient to the good, to keep pushing the word of work. Shalom, Barak, and Abba, Abba.
Abba, Abba.